guys, long time no see. So it's 2022 and I'm just starting to plan my spring garden this year, and as I was thinking about different considerations that I'm making right now as I'm planning, I thought it'd be helpful to just sit down with my tea latte and give you guys some tips and advice for planning your own spring garden this year. I am a very new gardener. I just started gardening in the past couple of years, so I would definitely take everything I have to say with a grain of salt and of course do your own research. But these are just some things that I'm finding helpful and things that I'm thinking about right now as I'm in the planning stages of my spring garden. So one of the things that I think is most exciting about planning your spring garden is being able to get a strong visual idea of what you want. And I think something that's been really helpful for me in planning has been Pinterest. I made a Spring Garden 2022 board that you can go follow. And I've just been using this to document like different flower ideas, different projects I might want to do, things that I might want to buy for the garden. And I'll show you at the end of the video some of the things that I'm really excited to buy and grow this year. So the next thing that I think is really important is just to make a list of everything you need to get done. Take a walk around your property and see what things you need to take care of to get the garden in tip-top shape. You can also make a list of things you need to buy. Some of the things I need to do are mulching, weeding, fixing the glass on my cold frame, building a compost bin, starting the early seeds. I'm also thinking of buying some new muck boots or like garden boots, and I've been looking a lot at those, but they're all a bit expensive for me. Let me know in the comments below what purchases you are thinking of making for your garden this year, and also what kind of shoes you wear in the garden. Right now I just have like some garden shoes, but they're not very like tall on the ankle, so dirt easily gets in my shoe. So I'd love to know what kind of boots you love in the garden. The next thing I'm finding super helpful in planning my garden is just making a map of the whole space. So maybe using some grid paper, colorful pens and pencils. I think it's really motivating to see everything drawn out in cute colors, and it really gets me excited for the coming season. You can also make one and then make a copy of it so that you don't have to remake it every year, and so that you can draw like right on top of the paper. So some of the things you might want to take into consideration as you're drawing out the map and then planning where you want each flower variety or type of vegetable to go are the proximity to your house and water, access to sunlight, soil quality, if certain areas of your property have more clay or sand in the soil and will suit certain plants better than others. If the packet says full sun, it needs 6 to 8 hours. Here in the South, even if the plant needs full sun, sometimes it does still need a little bit of afternoon shade because it is so hot here. I think it's always helpful to keep track of where the sun is throughout the growing season. Something else to consider is that you want to position tall plants where they will be shading out smaller plants that need full sun. My garden is south facing, so all of the taller plants would be on the north side of the bed. Alright, so the next thing is planning out your planting dates. If you don't already know what growing zone you're in, I would highly suggest checking that out. It's super important to be able to know when you're planting certain seeds. Somewhere that you can get that information is your county extension, often through a local university. Their website should have a whole list of when each vegetable should be planted. If you're planting flowers, you can just find that information on the seed packet itself. Keep in mind that each plant has a different lifespan, so you'll also want to think, is it a perennial? Is it an annual? Can you get a second planting of it in during your season? For me, I'm in zone 8, so I have a super long growing season. Okay, so here's the exciting part and the part where you can totally go overboard, and that is ordering seeds. So if you're going to start with seeds instead of seedlings, now's the time to order or shop for your seed. So keeping in mind your growing zone and your vision board, you can find plants that you think fit well into that aesthetic vision. If you're a beginner, I would definitely recommend not trying to grow anything too fussy. And you can normally find that information on the back of the seed packet, whether or not it's an easy plant to grow or a harder one. For example, zinnias, cosmos, dahlias, those are all more easy plants to grow and would be great for a beginner. In terms of shopping, I really like Johnny's Seed and Park Seed, which I'll link in the description below. But you can also just go to Lowe's or Home Depot. I've bought dahlias, cosmos from there. Another great place to shop is just your local farming store, and often they will have seeds in bulk, which is super helpful. In terms of interpreting all of the information that's on a seed packet, it can get a little complicated, so I would suggest just mainly focusing on knowing how and when to start the seedlings. So knowing your last frost date is super helpful and will come in handy. If it says to start 2 weeks before your last frost, then obviously you're gonna look that up, find out when the last frost for your growing zone is, and then plant 2 weeks before that date. I know it's very self-explanatory, but I thought I would just explain. And don't feel bad if you order way more seeds than you need. I think that is just part of being a gardener. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is having a clean workspace and organizing the space that you're using to grow your seeds. So this year I want to have better seed organization and in general a cleaner space to work out of. In the winter, this laundry room serves as a nursery, but it's unfinished, and since it's such a small space, it can get messy pretty easily. I know after a few hours of cleaning and organizing, I'll feel much more excited to work on planting seeds. In general, you definitely want to have some starting pots, trays, soil, and labels. It's helpful to write the year on the seeds so that you can keep track in coming years and make dividers that organize them chronologically by planting date. It's also helpful to keep receipts for seeds you've bought, just so you can keep track and don't have to worry about accidentally buying doubles of things. I want to find a cute way to organize the seeds, but for now, boxes and binders do just fine. Okay, so now I want to talk about some things that I'm super excited to grow and work on this year. So if you look at my Pinterest board, you can definitely see a theme running through. I really love all of the hollyhocks this year. I tried to grow some last year, but unfortunately our garden was housing this ginormous rat, and I'm pretty sure it was either the rat or some bunnies, but they just ate all of the hollyhock leaves and only one of them managed to grow. But the one that did manage to grow has stayed throughout the whole winter and it's super beautiful. I also have a lot of obelisks on my Pinterest board. I want to try and make obelisks out of branches. And you can also see that I pinned a lot of sweet peas, particularly growing up the obelisks. So I've never grown sweet peas before, but I'm really excited to try. And of course, these are different from the peas that you eat. These are not edible, but they have the most beautiful flowers. I'm super excited to try growing chamomile. That is a spring flower, I believe, an annual, and you can make tea out of it, which I would love to try. Anyway, I would just love to have a huge amount of it like overflowing from the planters. So I'm really excited about that. I am also excited about growing some daffodils this year, foxglove, which is our old standby. And then in terms of veg and my kitchen garden, I have a rainbow carrot blend that I'm really excited to grow. I think I'm gonna try to find some rainbow beets to grow. I love beets, but I've never grown them before, so I don't know how that's gonna work out. And turnips and peas as well, the ones that you can't eat. And I'll have to build some kind of structure for those to climb up. But yeah, so that's pretty much all. In terms of projects, I definitely want to work on building a compost bin, and I have some inspiration for that. And I really need to fix the broken glass in my cold frame. Last year I was growing spinach out of my cold frame, which you can see in my first video and in some of my TikToks, and that worked super well, but unfortunately when a storm came, it busted a hole in the glass. So I just have one panel that I need to fix the glass in, and then it should be back to normal. I'm also really excited to try to build some shelves for right outside on my deck to grow herbs out of. I saw this really cute picture on Pinterest, which I'll put over here, of shelves and then some really cute like old tins that they have herbs growing out of. I'd love to do that, and I always have like tin cans and stuff lying around, so I think that would be pretty easy. Alright, so that pretty much wraps everything up for this video. I would love to know in the comments below what you're excited to plant for spring or what your dream spring garden looks like. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.